My form of dirty dancing is getting in here, finding your truth. Okay? So that you can sing that song. So that you can look in the mirror and sing that song and tell yourself you've had the time of your life. You owe it all to you and nobody else. Nobody else. Okay? So that's my goal. My goal today is to inspire you, to send you on your way when you leave here today, knowing that you have everything that you need inside you to get whatever it is you want, to experience whatever you want in your life. Whether it's being able to change a relationship you have, whether it's getting up on the stage and doing this, whether it's finding peace of mind inside so that you feel better every day. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want it, you have everything that you need in here to have it. The very first thing is I want everybody to close their eyes. And I want you to acknowledge inside yourself, whether you repeat this with me or not, whether you change the words when you leave here today or not, but here's the deal. I am the transformational agent of my life. I am the creator of the change in my life. I have everything in here to transform whatever it is I want to transform. So I want you to connect with your breath. Keep your eyes closed. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is paying attention, first and foremost, to yourself. So begin with your breath. Feel your breath. Where is your breath in your body? Do you feel your chest rising? Do you feel it in your throat? Can you feel it in your belly? Do you feel it in your shoulders? Explore your breath. Understand your breath. Your breath can actually control your life. It's amazing. Now tune into yourself physically. How do you feel physically? Are you uncomfortable? Do you feel tension? Are you relaxed? How does your body feel on that chair? Where are your hands? How do they feel? What's happening with your jaw right now? And take a breath. And now mindfully, how are you feeling? Feeling excited to be here? Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling great anticipation? Are you feeling hope? Are you feeling emotional? Just overall emotional? Just notice. You don't have to do anything with it. You're just noticing. And now let's look at what's going on in your mind. With your eyes closed and a relaxed breath, just pay attention to your mind for a minute. What's running through your mind? What's the focus? Is there some story going on in there? What's the story? And finally, just kind of notice all over. How do you feel? How's your energy today? So this is kind of an all over. Do I feel present? Do I feel a little distracted? Do I feel centered? Do I feel scattered? Where's my energy and what's going on with it? Explore that a little bit. That might be an avenue that you need to explore a little bit more, and you're going to today, to understand it a little bit more. bring your attention back to your breath. Take the deepest breath you can take right now. And let it out. Breathe it out with your mouth. Awesome. Open your eyes when you're ready. So a couple things that I want to focus on. So I want to get into, well, actually delivering some really juicy information to you. So this is a place where if you are a note taker, you might want to take some notes now. Okay. So two of the places that we really want to use our mindfulness with in order to structure our life the way that we want to structure it is our emotional life and our mental life, our thoughts. So when we just did that mindfulness exercise, what we did was we first turned into how we felt physically. Okay, and we're often doing that because the body's speaking to us, it's bringing attention in, right? I want to focus on the mental part and the emotional part. So the emotional part I'm going to start with because as women, it's one of our most powerful energetic resources, our emotions. And unfortunately, nobody teaches us what to do with it really well. Okay? That's where I come in. I have really, because I'm so emotionally intense, number one, and intuitive, secondly, it was the thorn in my side for the early part of my life because I didn't know what to do with all that emotional stuff. And nobody was telling me what to do. Nobody was helping me. And so I stuffed it. And I actually ended up with a lot of physical symptoms that weren't pretty. And thankfully, once I started my journey, of course, the right people came into my life at the right time. It's like an acupuncturist and a therapist and all of those people that could like go, hey, maybe this is going on. And I got to go, oh yeah, maybe that is what's going on. So, emotions. Here's what we want to do with emotions. Okay, so here's their kind of emotional lesson, all right? First you want to observe your emotions, okay? We just did that. How am I feeling? What's the emotion that's running through my being, okay? In a healthy experience, when you feel an emotion or feeling, it moves through your body and it begins to inform you something about what's going on, okay? But first you have to know what the emotion is, okay? And sometimes we have to start there. I mean, I didn't know what loneliness was until it was strangling me. And I thought I was going to die because nobody knew me. And I didn't know me. And until I knew me, nobody was ever going to know me. And that was the only way I was going to get rid of that strangling monster around my neck that was called loneliness. Okay? So we want to learn what's the emotion that you're feeling. And how can it guide you? How can it guide you? Okay? And I'm not going to get into all of those today because it's way too much information for the time period that I have. But I have access to that, and you know, I've got all kinds of videos out there and all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested, we can get you access to it. When you're in an experience and you're feeling an emotion, you want that emotion to continue to flow through you. And what you want is the opportunity to actually discharge that emotion. You want it to move through you and out of you, okay? And in order to do that well, so that it doesn't stay in here and cause problems, you need a safe place to do that, okay? So when we have emotions coming up, we want safety, we want to move it, we want to look at it, we want to release it, and then we want to use our clear thinking to wonder, what was that trying to tell me? What is the guidance in that emotion that I'm feeling right now? So for instance, whenever you feel anger, it's a boundary issue. You have to change a boundary in your life if you want to relieve your anger. And most of us don't do that. Most of us have a conversation and then we do the thing and we go back into the relationship and we're doing the same thing and we're angry again and we're cycling around and around and around. Okay? So, boundaries, right? And each one of the emotions can tell us something. But first, in order to have a healthy relationship with your emotions, you have to be able to identify it, you have to be able to feel it, release it, discharge it, and then let it guide you in a good way, okay? Now, many of us find ourselves in situations where we're emotionally reactive, Anybody relate to being emotionally reactive? Raise your hand if you can, please. Look around the room, right? Okay, we're all emotionally reactive when we get there, right? When we're emotionally reactive, and it's really strong, and we feel like we can't control it, and I'm doing something right now I don't want to do, and now I'm throwing on some guilt, and I'm throwing on some other stuff, and now I feel even more emotional stuff, and I feel even crappier, and I'm stuck in the spinning around, right? Again, what do we have to do? We have to find a safe place. We need to move that emotion. We need to discharge it, okay? When that's happening, you cannot think clearly. Don't expect yourself to. If you find yourself having conversations that really go nowhere, it's because that's where you're at. When the emotion's in there and it's moving around and it's really intense, it's like literally imagine yourself like putting down a trap door and now I can't get to my head and I can't think straight. Okay? So don't even bother trying, is what I say. Don't bother trying. I go tap. Okay, anybody know what tapping is? Raise your hand if you know what tapping is. Okay? If you don't know what tapping is, you can Google my name, tapping, and there's a tapping video. It'll teach you how to tap. And it'll help you move the emotion. It'll help you actually start to move the imprint in your nervous system that's causing you to be reactive and intense and out of control and unable to handle the situation in a good way. Okay? Because oftentimes when we're growing up in the world, we're in survival mode with our emotions. Okay? And when we're in survival mode with our emotions, when something bad is happening, we're going into fight or flight. And when we go into fight or flight, all of a sudden, now we're like stuck in our nervous system, okay? And nothing good comes of that. Most of us, many of us in our culture are walking around partially with the fight or flight mechanism turned on. That's how we're living in the world today. So this is like a big issue. This is not a small thing. And when we take responsibility to learn how to work with this stuff, this big stuff, we're affecting everybody around us. We're teaching everybody through our behavior. This is how we do this. We can do this and we can do it well. Okay? And honestly, I think women are going to be the ones leading that. Just not me. Not that we invited men today, but still. Okay, how many men are sitting and learning this stuff? A lot, right? Okay. But they can learn it, right? And they can do it well. I just spent 2 days with my son. We had a really emotional time together talking about stuff, you know? He can do that, okay? Because that's what he learned. That's what he learned at home with me, all right? So you can teach the people that you're with by showing it, all right? So that's the first part. So the emotional stuff is safety, experiencing it in safety, discharging the emotion, and then being able to reevaluate the situation with your clear thinking, okay? And that requires being with somebody who doesn't feed the old story and the old stuff and the old emotions, okay? So you may or may not have somebody like that in your life. That's why therapy is so good, coaching is so good, that's why there's proliferation of it in the world right now, because these are the people that are holding space and allowing us to learn how to do this stuff and do it well and get to a better story in our lives, right? And create better stories in our lives. So you want to, if you know, I know if I was sitting in a room like this years ago, right? And somebody had been standing here saying this to me, I would have known, oh my God, I have so much work to do. I have a lot of work to do in this area, and let's get to it, right? So why are we getting to this work? Because it frees us up to go after what we want. All of this stuff in here, when we're not getting what we want, when we can't seem to get the change we want, it's because of this stuff that's clogging up the space in there. It's interrupting your dreams. It's interrupting what you want. It's interrupting the pattern that you're stuck in that won't take you to that thing that you want. It's taking you over here again and again and again. Because it's stuck in here, okay? So we want to do the work, always inner work. Let's talk about the mental part, okay? So a lot of times, and I think this has been big in the world, I think it's been more prevalent than the emotional stuff, is that there's a lot of affirmation talk going on, and there's a lot of talk about secret, right? What is the secret? What is the secret? I know, actually, okay? But it's not simple. All right, it's not as simple as we make it sound. And yet there's value to it. There's value to affirmations. There's value to think the thoughts, and you start to change the vibration, okay? But what happens is you need that alignment. That's why we're talking alignment. This mindfulness is about aligning it all, okay? So the physical, the emotional, the mental, the energetic or spiritual is all in alignment. And now I'm this strong force moving exactly towards what I want. All right? So the mental part, how do we work with that? Here's the note-taking part if you want to take notes, okay? You must become the witness of your mind. The most important skill that you can develop, they didn't tell us this in school, I'm telling you now, okay? Trust me. The most important skill that you can develop as a human being is to be able to witness yourself. So that means when you're in drama, oh my God, I can't do this, this is terrible, oh my God, I'm stuck in this relationship and this thing is going around and around, and now I'm acting like an idiot again, I'm blah, 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 and the story, right? Is you want to have developed your witness muscle so well that you're watching yourself stuck exactly where you are and going, look at me. Look at me spinning around. Look at me doing this thing. How did I get here? More importantly, how am I going to get out? Right? And so what you want to do is use this to get out, okay? So when you're watching the thoughts and you're in the story, okay, of it all, what's useful there? What's useful there is that if you have repetitive stories or conversations in your mind that take up a lot of your mental energy, the goal of that is to close the story, to finish the story, so that you can free yourself up to create a new story. Okay? And in order to create the new story, you got to know what you want. Go back to what Kim was talking about earlier, okay? So how do we finish stories? We finish stories through forgiveness, work, conversations that are productive and healthy and not fueled by energy and emotions that are, negatively spiraling us down. Those don't help us, don't get us where we want to close a story. Letting go. When you think about letting go, I want you to think about letting be. People are like, how do you let go? Well, first you just let it be what it is. First you just use the acceptance practice. Oh, this is what this is. Oh, they're doing that. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, that's happening over there. Oh, this is happening in here in me. I'm really angry right now. Ooh, what did the girl say? Boundaries, anger, boundaries. What boundary needs to change here? How am I setting this up so it's not working for me? Right? So there's this whole trail that you learn how to go down through practice. Practice, and more practice. Okay? But the beginning, and again, your most powerful tool is witnessing. Being able to witness what you're doing. I've learned, and this is my practice, with my husband, because pretty much it's him and I, a bunch of grandchildren, grown-up children, they're like off doing their thing. They don't trigger me, but he triggers me, right? So whenever he triggers me, and I'm going, I just have a little time out. I just go take a time out. And because I know tapping and it works and it's great, I do tapping. And I might cry because I'm a big crier. And then I breathe for a while and I sit there and I go, okay, what just happened? And then I start to look at what just happened. And how did I lose my power? So you want to ask yourself, how did I lose my power? Where did I get derailed? from what I wanted, from how I wanted this to be. And you don't have to have an answer, you just want to watch. The mindfulness piece is, it's magic. And what it provides for you is endless opportunity to experience life beautifully, intensely, and powerfully. And you always have something to be mindful of. You always have the opportunity to practice mindfulness. You don't need to go to the UMass Medical Center John Kabat-Zinn program, okay? You don't need to use the guided meditation app that they have, okay? The millions that they have. All you need to do is sit there and start paying attention. How does my body feel in the chair? Just what we did today. What's happening? And every moment that you can remember. Did you remember the intention on the bottom of that triangle that was there, that foundational thing? Okay. So I'm going to quote somebody now. And I buy into this quote fully, so I'm going to say it, even though it's not going to sound happy, or you're not going to like it. I don't think you're going to be happy with me. Okay? This is Carolyn Mace, who is a brilliant woman. Written multiple books. Just brilliant psychologist, intuitive medical practitioner, just amazing. Okay? Intention without discipline is useless. And the reason I share that today is because what I teach is don't set your intentions until you're clear about what you want. Because I think it's even worse than useless. It's actually harmful. Because when you set intentions and you don't achieve them and they linger in you, what do you think they're creating in there? Guilt. Disappointment. Anger at yourself. Oh, I'm not good enough. Can't do it. Okay. When you get clear in what did you come here to do? Nothing else matters. Because at the end of your life, if you're lying on your you-know-what bed and you're going, I didn't do it, it's going to matter all of a sudden. Okay? So do it now. Do it now. Don't wait. All right. Hands to belly. Okay? So thumb in the navel. Drop it down. Both hands. I can't do it exactly. Okay. Hands to belly. Spread your legs apart. Okay? Open up the energy center. Our energy center in our hips and our pelvis, this whole thing going on here, right? Oh my God, there's so much great energy in there. And what are we doing with it? Tight, still, protection, guarded, right? So, we got to get safe and we got to figure out how to open this up, okay? It's going to add all kinds of good energies in your life. So, closing your eyes if you want to.